escuelas y caridades locales, como ayudar a los bomberos con campañas de juguetes. También donamos miles de artículos cada año para despensas de comida en tu vecindario. Ven a tu grocery outlet local hoy y ve lo que estamos haciendo.
In this week's Marketers Report, Raja Manar, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of MasterCard, talks about measurement.
Measuring sonic and sonic branding and sonic initiatives across the board. The principles of measurement are the same, but the parameters that you measure are different. We measure, and what we find is our investment is paying for itself in movies. We have been partnering with iHeart across multiple platforms, both for brand enhancement as well as for performance marketing. I think it's a cut-through of the message and the recall of the brand of what should I am. Also, that has been very beneficial for us to integrate some of our campaigns into the native content of iHeart. It has been a very nice partnership and it continues to be very strong into the future.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Me encantan nuestras fiestas, pero siempre tenemos la misma bebida. Refrescos con un montón de azúcar. Pero esta vez, mi mamá trajo su famosa limonada. Lleva fresas y jugo de piña en vez de agregar tanta azúcar. Pero, ¿les gustará a todos? ¡Les encanta!
Let's go back to the phones. Melissa, you there? Okay.
I love you.
I know.
Wait, see, was that so typical of Melissa?
That was the easiest find I've ever done.
Live 7 to 10 p.m. on KFI and on demand. And anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Wednesday morning, May 17th. Mo Kelly is on every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Joel Larsgaard joins Mo tonight with How to Money. And that is a weekly feature on the Mo Kelly Show. Right, 7 to 10 p.m. Now, I'm continuing on with the story about this 150-year-old company where the company's chief human resources officer knew that had to come up with a diversity, equity, inclusion program because all the senior management were a bunch of old white guys. And he said people want to feel like they belong. He understood that employees did not feel like they belong because they look at the leadership and go, look at these guys, I'm never going to be there. They don't relate to me, especially minorities, women. And so he hires this woman, a consultancy. She's chief executive of this Inversity Solution, which rethinks diversity programming. It's kind of neat what she does. So she's on the stage. She does a keynote 1 year and asks everyone to close your eyes, and then starts asking questions. You ever locked a car when a black man walked by? Once asked Jesse Jackson, does he have a problem? He said, yeah. If I'm night, the black men are walking past, I go across the street. Jesse Jackson said that to me. That's the bias that exists. And are Jews really good with money? Okay, good question. The answer is yes. And asked just a bunch of questions about that. And everybody's eyes closed. And as she asked the questions, people started raising their hands in terms of what they thought. She answered a couple of questions by raising her hands. Everybody in the room raised their hands at some point regarding bias. And what she asked is how many people do not feel good about themselves admitting to bias. Most said, yeah, I'm not particularly thrilled about it. She says, that's the problem with diversity training right now. Because people at work should feel like they belong, and management should feel like management belongs. And it really is one happy kumbaya company, but it really isn't. There is some legitimacy to this. And you say, what is the problem? One of the big issues, especially the pandemic, is, do you belong at your company? I mean, that's the first thing, but not belonging as is you've been hired. But well, let me give you an example, which she brings up. And that is, let's say you're in a group where you are gay and you don't know what your coworkers think of you, and what you tend to do is then check your gayness at the door. And you walk in as a straight male or female, and so it's not you. It's what they expect you to be. And now the change has come, hey, it is who I am. And then want to and ask to be accepted. At the same time, management is looking at you and says, I want you to belong. And I got to be very careful here because, you know, I'm not a big fan of holding hands, kumbaya, let's all get married in front of a tree, and our snacks will be twigs coming off that tree. It can get pretty close to that. But if you know where to draw the line, I think this makes a lot of sense. And this question of belonging is the latest focus in this evolving world of corporate diversity, equity, inclusion. That's the programs. Interest in all of this actually started in the murder of George Floyd. George Floyd changed a lot of things. The murder of George Floyd changed a lot of things. And one of them you wouldn't think. Usually you think of policing, for example. It also has crept into corporate thinking. And what it does is turboed into corporate thinking. And this is one that there are tons of companies that are not even referring to themselves as inclusive. They're using the word belonging. Tells you how far companies have gone. Now, are there critics? Of course there are critics. And the critics are saying this is all about making white people comfortable. Ugh. So therefore, I guess we shouldn't do it, right? You're not addressing systematic inequality. You're not going to the core of this problem. So if you happen to be a company of 50 employees or 100 employees, this BS of trying to belong, hey, go after the real cause. Go after systematic, for example, granting of loans. You should go into the lending area, and instead of manufacturing your widgets, you should start a bank and not redline. That should be part of. You should be a chief of police and make sure that people are treated the same and there's no racism. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, critics. Don't you love it? You know, the critics of the police. There shouldn't be a police department because there's bias. Only social workers should go out and be police people. I mean, you can go crazy. So, all right, you got the crazies out there that it's about making white people comfortable. But you know what? It is about making white people comfortable with accepting the fact that the bias exists. And if everybody attacks it the same way, it's better than not. Makes sense to me. It really does. And she says that as a practical matter, there's never going to be equality or equity if people in power, straight white males, are excluded from the conversation. And again, the argument that the police should be defunded, well, not even defunded, should be completely done away with. Because the argument is, think about this, so people that are saying that, we want the police defunded. We don't want the police involved in the conversation. They have no business being in that conversation. It's all about what we think. You know, we do not want the police to do A, B, C, and D. And not only do we want that, we don't want them to even comment on it. We just want them to go ahead and do what we think is going to happen. So we still have diversity among thinking. But you're going to see more and more of this as companies don't even the word inclusion. Not even the word, it's now belonging. Okay, good for them. All right, coming up, the case of Danny Masterson. And even though he is being tried, what's really being tried is Scientology. And I'll cover that when we come back. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Perfect for achy, indecisive minds. KFI's cooling Info Gel quickly relieves ignorance and leaves a minty fresh scent.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Finders, allegedly keepers. I'm Jason Middleton, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A man from Rancho Cucamonga has been arrested for allegedly stealing technology that could be used to build nuclear submarines and military aircraft. KFI's Blake Trolley reports live. Prosecutors say the man was building his own company in China.
The software Li-Ming Li allegedly stole is used for 3D modeling, and because of its potential military applications, a license is required to export the technology to China. Prosecutors say Li worked for 2 companies from the 90s to 2019. They say after Li was fired from the second company, the company discovered Li trying to download company information onto a personal hard drive. Prosecutors allege Li took a job with a Chinese company in 2020 to be its chief technology officer. The FBI served a search warrant that same year at Li's home and found numerous digital devices containing millions of files belonging to the 2 California-based companies Li worked for. Li was arrested earlier this month at the Ontario International Airport when his flight from Taiwan landed. Reporting live, Blake Trolley, KFI News.
Huntington Beach has pulled out of the Orange County Power Authority, claiming there are just too many issues with the fledgling agency.
It's time to pull out. And quite frankly, I'm going to move that we dissolve the organization entirely.
Huntington Beach Mayor Tony Strickland says the OCPA's faced negative audits, grand jury reports, and whistleblower complaints in just its first year in operation.
They sold to the public that we'll have 100% green energy at a cheaper price. Well, that's turned out to be a lie.
Fullerton Mayor and OCPA Board Chair Fred Jung says the agency is the definition of local control.
The choice between Edison, a monopoly, and something where they can be part of the process, seat at the table.
Orange County was first to withdraw. Fullerton, Irvine, and Buena Park remain. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Rebuttal arguments are expected to be heard in L.A. in the Danny Masterson rape trial. The case could be handed off to jurors later today. Yesterday, a prosecutor told jurors that the 70s show actor drugged 3 women so he could rape them, then relied on his standing in the Church of Scientology to avoid consequences for years. 2 of the women knew Masterson through social circles in the church. The jury is the second to hear the case against Masterson, who was charged in 2020 with 3 counts of rape. Bill Handel will have more on that next hour. A 12-year-old boy and his uncle have been charged with murder in Texas for the fatal shooting of a worker at a Sonic drive-in restaurant. Officials say the employee confronted the uncle Sunday night for peeing in the parking lot, and the fight escalated. That's when the 12-year-old allegedly shot the worker at least 6 times with an assault-style rifle. Dr. Joyce Harge, speaking for the worker's family, says they are heartbroken.
They are truly devastated to have lost him.
The murdered man had a 10-year-old son. A GoFundMe has been set up to help pay for the funeral.
I'm postponing the Australia portion of the trip and my stop in Papua New Guinea.
President Biden is set to leave for Japan to attend the G7 summit and meet with leaders from some of the world's major economies, but he says he won't be traveling to the Indo-Pacific as expected, so he can focus on debt limit talks in Washington. Biden met with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and other congressional leaders yesterday to talk about raising the nation's debt ceiling. The Treasury Department says the U.S. could default on its debts as early as June 1st, a date known as X-date. We are expecting President Biden to provide some live comments soon, and when he does, we will take it live. Taco Bout, fast food wars. Taco Bell is asking regulators to force a fast food chain from Wyoming to give up its claim to Taco Tuesday as a trademark. The Bell says in a filing with the U.S. Patent and Trade Office that too many businesses use Taco Tuesday for Taco John's to claim exclusive rights to that phrase. Taco John's employee Emmanuel Sandoval in Denver says Taco Bell can pick its own phrase.
Taco Funday, I don't know. It's something like that, you know. But yeah, I feel like we should stay with Taco Tuesday. They could do their own little thingy.
Taco John's CEO says the company is going to keep doing what it's doing and make tacos. Traffic on the 5 near Buena Park right after sports with Wayne.
The Lakers gave up 72 points to the Denver Nuggets in the first half and couldn't come all the way back, losing Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals by a score of 132 to 126. Here's Coach Darvin Ham.
We got to be better in transition. We can't foul them. We got to be more disciplined showing our hands when we're guarding the ball and guarding those guys.
Game 2 is set for tomorrow. In baseball, the Dodgers fell to the Minnesota Twins 5-1. That series concludes today at 12:10 with Dustin May on the mound. Listen live from the Galpin Motors broadcast booth on the iHeartRadio app. The Angels were defeated by the Baltimore Orioles 7-3. Game 3 of 4 is today, and you'll have Griffin Canning starting. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Your KFI Financial Report is sponsored by Jacoby & Myers. Markets are floating above the break-even line right now. Dow Jones up 130 points, the S&P's up 17, and the NASDAQ is up 55.
Don't wait. Maximize your compensation after an accident. Call Jacoby & Myers now. Justice for you since 1972.
Southern California weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog this morning. Still some humidity out there, too. Partly cloudy later today. Highs in the mid-60s at the beaches, mid-70s inland for LA and Orange County. Farther inland and into the valleys, highs are mid-70s to mid-80s, and areas of the San Fernando, Santa Clarita, and San Gabriel valleys could hit 90 to 94 degrees today. Tonight, partly cloudy early and then clouds and fog overnight. Lows in the mid to upper 50s. Right now, Seal Beach is at 59 degrees, Orange 60, Torrance 58, and La Cañada Flint Ridge, you are at 63 degrees. Now let's check traffic, and Jeff is taking us to Buena Park and the 5.
You betcha. Thanks, Jason. Good morning. Thank you, as always, for letting us tag along with you. Now, kind of predictable, sadly predictable drive here, driving the northbound I-5, coming up from 91 around Buena Park, all the way up to 605 in East LA. It starts to get real slow around Norwalk Boulevard. That's approaching the 605. It's tough getting through the interchange just because, well, it's the way it is. A lot of traffic coming off the 605. And then there's another problem just north of the 710 at Indiana, North 5 Indiana. So it's going to be a slow one going up. If you like to use Telegraph, if you're comfy with it, pretty easy way around it. That'll get you up to the 710. Real quick, Marina Del Rey, I know how busy this is. It's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but Mindanao and Lincoln, there's a stall right in the middle of the intersection, so just be careful. It creates a little bit of craziness there. Northbound 405 from Long Beach all the way up to LAX. You think you should stay on schedule if you left early enough. It's definitely slow. A little bit north of Long Beach Airport through the 710, a little pickup in speed, and after that from about Carson, Wilmington, up through Artesia Boulevard. It's just going to be slow. Carpool lane is looking good. And the West 210, now I mentioned this last time around, but a little bit past the track, Santa Anita at Baldwin. West 210 Baldwin is a shoulder problem, but sure is getting a lot of attention. From the 57 through the 605 and most of the way into Pasadena. It's just one of those slow morning drives. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jeff Baugh.
Hello, beautiful. I'm Amy Eric, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. I started Madison Reed to give you the most gorgeous hair color made with ingredients you can feel good about. Are you tired of drugstore hair color? You deserve better. Spring is here and the forecast calls for your best hair color ever. Upgrade to salon quality hair color that nourishes and improves the condition of your hair without any harsh odors. It's easily done at home and we deliver it to your door. Plus, our hair color matching technology makes picking the right color easy, fast, and accurate. For a limited time, new clients get 15% off plus free shipping on your first online order. Visit madison-reed.com/promo. Take our online color quiz to find your perfect shade. That's madison-reed.com/promo. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Binge listen this and all your artist stations, plus any song from our library of millions of songs, all ad-free. Get your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access. You'll love it. Don't be basic, be extra. Start your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access now.
Head into your local Safeway for lots of great deals on items throughout the store. This week at Safeway, get mega packs of Signature Farms pork sirloin chops for just 99 cents per pound when you buy 6 pounds or more. Also this week at Safeway, large Hass avocados are 10 for $10. Plus, 1 pound containers of organic strawberries or 6-ounce containers of organic blueberries, blackberries, or raspberries are 3 for $12. Visit Safeway.com or head into your local Safeway to find more great deals.
The Surf Ranch Pro, presented by 805 Beer, is coming up in Lemoore, California this Memorial Day weekend, May 27th and 28th. Get the chance to watch the world's best surfers live at the awe-inspiring wave designed by 11-time world champion Kelly Slater and team. Whether you're a surf fan, sports enthusiast, foodie, music lover, or family, there's something for everyone at this event. There are ticket options for everyone, too. Buy yours today on surfranchpro.com and use code RANCH10 at checkout for 10% off all ticket types.
Are you or someone you know living with Alzheimer's disease? Consider participating in Athira's Pharma clinical trial, exploring a novel repair and regenerative approach to Alzheimer's disease. Athira's Pharma is a late-stage clinical study of an investigational drug for the treatment of mild to moderate